John, this topic of Ayurvedic embryology truly fascinates me. I mean, how does life even begin in the womb from an Ayurvedic perspective? What are the profound factors that determine everything from birth itself to gender, strength, intellect, and even lifespan?
That's a beautiful question, Lydia, and it really goes to the heart of Ayurvedic wisdom. The ancient texts, like the Charaka Samhita, teach us that life isn't just a biological event, it's a sacred cosmic dance. It begins through a very specific union, that of shukra, which is the male reproductive essence, and artava, the female reproductive essence. But it's far more than just these two components.
So, shukra and artava, the basic ingredients. But what else is involved in this cosmic dance you mentioned?
Indeed, this union must occur within a suitable womb, at what's considered an auspicious time, and crucially, it's guided by the soul itself, the eternal consciousness, along with past karma and the influence of the five great elements, the Panchamahabhuta. Think of it as the universe conspiring to bring forth new life.
Wow, so it's not just biology, it's destiny and the elements too. That's quite a holistic view. And this union, what's it called?
It's called Garbha. When this union is supported by balanced doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha in both parents, and a healthy, receptive uterine environment, that's what leads to the formation of Garbha, the embryo. It's a precise alignment of physical, energetic, and spiritual factors.
So the doshas play a role even before conception in creating the right conditions. That makes a lot of sense. So there are causes that bring life into being. Can you elaborate on those?
Absolutely. Ayurveda identifies three main causes. First, there's Karana Bhuta, which is the eternal soul itself, the essence of consciousness that animates everything. It's the driving force. Then, Upastita Karana, which are the immediate physical causes, the union of semen and ovum. And finally, Nimitta Karana, which are the actions from past lives, the karmic influences. These three intertwine, culminating in a new being. It's truly intricate.
Karma playing a role in the very moment of conception, that's profound. So it's not just a blank slate. And you mentioned consciousness. Is that the defining factor?
Precisely. The presence of consciousness, or chaitana, is what fundamentally distinguishes a living being from inanimate matter. It's the spark of life that infuses the physical form. Without it, it's just a collection of elements. With it, it's a soul on a journey.
That's a beautiful way to put it, a soul on a journey. And once this journey begins, how does the fetus develop? Is there a standard sequence in Ayurveda?
There absolutely is, and it's meticulously described in the ancient texts. In the very first month, the union forms a kind of embryonic lump or fluid mass. It's like the initial clay being gathered. By the second month, the distinct head and limbs begin to emerge, taking a more defined shape. It's a rapid transformation.
So from a lump to a recognizable form in just a couple of months. That's incredible biological precision being observed thousands of years ago.
It truly is. By the third month, the vital organs begin to form and develop. And then, a significant milestone occurs in the fourth month. The heart begins to function. This is considered profoundly important in Ayurveda, as the heart is seen as the seat of consciousness, the very core of the being. This is when that Satana we talked about really settles in, connecting deeply.
The heart being the seat of consciousness. That gives me goosebumps, honestly. It's not just a pump, it's the spiritual center. This also brings up another question, John. How does Ayurveda explain gender? Modern science has its genetic explanations, but what about the Ayurvedic view?
That's a fascinating area where Ayurveda offers a multi-layered understanding, beyond just chromosomes. While genetics are acknowledged implicitly through the concept of parental contribution, Ayurveda explains gender as being influenced by several key factors. The primary one is the dominance of shukra, the male essence, versus artava, the female essence, at the moment of conception.
So if the male essence is stronger, it's a boy, and if the female essence is stronger, it's a girl? That sounds elegantly simple.
Exactly. Dominance of shukra leads to a male child, while dominance of artava leads to a female. And in instances where there's an equal dominance of both, or perhaps an imbalance that leans neither way, it may lead to a neutral sex or what we might understand as intersex individuals today. Ayurveda accounts for that spectrum.
That's surprisingly inclusive for an ancient text. Are there other factors, or is it purely about the dominance of these essences?
There are indeed other factors. The timing of intercourse plays a role, as do the mental impressions and emotional state of both parents at the moment of conception. These subtle energies, according to Ayurveda, leave an imprint. And, of course, past karmic influences are always at play, shaping the destiny and characteristics of the incoming soul, including its physical form and gender.
So it's a complex interplay of physical, emotional, and spiritual energies. That makes perfect sense from a holistic Ayurvedic perspective. Now, once the Garbha is formed, how does it actually grow? How does Ayurveda explain the formation of all the body tissues?
This brings us to one of Ayurveda's core physiological principles, the transformation of the Sapta dhatus, the 7 bodily tissues. The embryo, like the adult body, forms and sustains itself through this sequential nourishment and transformation. It all begins with rasa, which is the plasma or lymph.
Rasa, the first dhatu. So how does that lead to everything else?
It's a beautiful chain reaction, a metabolic cascade. Rasa transforms into rakta, which is blood. Then rakta transforms into mamsa, muscle tissue. Mamsa becomes medus, adipose or fat tissue. Medus then transforms into asti, bone tissue. From asti we get majja, bone marrow. And finally from majja we get shukra, the reproductive tissue itself. Each tissue nourishes the next in this vital chain, building the entire being.
That's an incredible sequence. So the health of the very first tissue, rasa, must be crucial for the development of all subsequent tissues, all the way to shukra. What happens if this process is disrupted?
Exactly, Lydia. The entire process is guided by balanced doshas. When the doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha, are in equilibrium, this transformation of the dhatus occurs smoothly and perfectly, leading to a healthy, well-formed fetus. However, if there's an imbalance in the doshas, it can disrupt this delicate sequence, potentially leading to congenital defects or developmental issues. It's a very precise, sensitive system.
So the parent's doshic balance, even at conception, is paramount. It emphasizes the need for a healthy lifestyle pre-conception for both parents. What are the specific contributions of the father and mother in all this, beyond just shukra and artava?
That's a critical distinction. The father's primary contribution is shukra, the genetic and energetic essence. The mother, however, contributes artava, but also provides the entire nourishing environment for the 9 months of gestation. Her body is literally the universe for the developing child. So her physical and mental state during pregnancy profoundly influences the child's development.
It makes perfect sense that the mother's state is so crucial. What specifically about her state affects the child?
Her diet, her lifestyle, and particularly her emotional condition, these aren't just superficial factors. They deeply shape the fetus's health, its physical constitution, and even its character and temperament. If the mother is stressed, eats poorly, or is emotionally turbulent, these impressions are passed on to the developing child. It's a direct energetic and physiological transfer.
That's a huge responsibility, but also such a beautiful opportunity for mothers to nurture their child from the very beginning. Are there specific signs that conception has occurred, according to Ayurveda, and advice for the early stages?
Yes, absolutely. Once conception occurs, Ayurveda describes several telltale signs: the cessation of menstruation, a noticeable heaviness or tenderness in the breasts, and often an aversion to certain smells or tastes, or developing new cravings. These are the body's ways of signaling a profound internal shift.
Those sound pretty familiar to modern understanding, but it's cool to hear how ancient Ayurveda recognized them. What's the advice for a pregnant woman, especially in those early stages?
Ayurveda places immense emphasis on protecting and nurturing the Garbha. It advises a gentle and sattvic lifestyle, meaning pure, harmonious, and wholesome. This includes regular prayers or spiritual practices, avoiding negative emotions and stressful situations, and engaging in rejuvenating therapies that support both the mother and the fetus. It's about creating a cocoon of positive energy and nourishment.
A cocoon of positive energy. I love that. So the physical and emotional well-being of the mother is paramount. It sounds like a sacred duty.
It truly is considered a sacred duty, Lydia. The protection of the Garbha is paramount. Any harm to the fetus, whether intentional or through negligence, is strictly warned against. This highlights the deep respect for nascent life that pervades Ayurvedic philosophy.
That's a powerful emphasis on the sanctity of life. So we've talked about the initial formation and some early development. Does Ayurveda also map out the entire 9 months of pregnancy with specific milestones?
Oh, absolutely. Each month of pregnancy holds a special significance and distinct developmental stages according to Ayurveda. We touched on the first few, but let's go deeper. In the first month, as we said, the embryonic mass, the kalala, is formed, a jelly-like substance where the initial subtle energies begin to coalesce.
Okay, the very first spark. And then the second month?
In the second month, the mass begins to differentiate. The head and limbs appear, forming a more recognizable shape, referred to as pinda. The body starts to take on a more defined structure. This is a critical stage for early physical formation.
A pinda, got it. And the third month marks the development of what?
By the third month, a remarkable development occurs. The 5 sensory organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, begin to form. This means the embryo starts to develop the capacity to perceive the external world, even if it's still subtle within the womb. Also, major organs start their differentiation.
So the senses are coming online. That's a huge step. And we mentioned the 4th month already with the heart?
Indeed. In the 4th month, the heart forms and begins to function. This is truly pivotal because the heart is the seat of consciousness, or chaitana, as we discussed. This is when the mind becomes more deeply connected to the physical body. The fetus begins to express subtle emotions and preferences, and the mother might feel a stronger connection or even cravings.
That's why those cravings become so pronounced. And in the 5th month, what new faculties awaken?
In the 5th month, intelligence and emotions truly awaken and begin to mature. The fetus is not just a physical form, it's developing its emotional and intellectual capacities. It can respond to external stimuli more directly, and its personality starts to subtly emerge. It's truly a sentient being at this point.
So much more than just physical growth, it's also about mental and emotional development. And the 6th month?
By the 6th month, the mind connects more deeply with the subtle channels of the body, the nadis. There's a greater integration of mind and body, and the fetus gains more strength and vitality. The mother can feel its movements much more distinctly, often quite robustly.
That strong connection with the mother, a sense of vitality increasing. What about the 7th month?
In the 7th month, the fetus's vitality strengthens considerably. All the bodily systems are becoming more robust, and the fetus gains weight and becomes more complete in its development, almost like a miniature human, ready for an early, though still premature, birth if necessary. It's reaching a critical point of self-sufficiency.
So, a significant maturation phase. And the 8th month brings us to something very special, I hear, called ojas?
Yes, the 8th month is exceptionally vital. This is when ojas, the very essence of immunity and vitality, matures and circulates throughout the fetus's body. Ojas is considered the purest, most subtle essence of all the dhatus, and its maturation in the 8th month is crucial for the baby's future health and strength. However, it's also considered a volatile month, where the ojas can fluctuate, making it a delicate period. This is why historically, birth in the 8th month was considered weaker for the child, because the ojas hadn't fully settled.
Ojas, the ultimate immunity and life force. That's a beautiful concept. So after all that, the 9th month must be the final preparation?
Exactly. In the 9th month, full maturation occurs. All the organs are fully developed, and the systems are ready for independent function. The fetus becomes completely prepared for birth, and the body intuitively signals it's time for the transition from the internal world of the womb to the external world. It's the grand finale, the culmination of this miraculous journey.
And then the baby is born. But it's not a complete blank slate, is it? You mentioned karma and doshas earlier.
That's right. When born, the baby carries forward the karma, the samskaras, which are residual impressions from past lives, and its inherent doshic constitution, determined at conception and shaped by the mother's journey. So the journey doesn't end at birth. It merely continues in a new form, with a unique blueprint. Each individual is a continuation of a vast cosmic story.
This really redefines how I think about life, conception, and pregnancy. It's so much more than biology. It's a confluence of spirit, energy, and matter, a true sacred dance. The ancient sages really saw life in such a profound, connected way.
They truly did, Lydia, and that's the wonder of Ayurvedic embryology, where the divine meets the biological, where every stage is imbued with meaning and purpose. It teaches us immense respect for life from its very inception, and for the incredible journey of both mother and child.
Thank you, John. This has been incredibly insightful and inspiring. I feel like I've gained a much deeper appreciation for the miracle of life through the Ayurvedic lens.
My pleasure, Lydia. It's a vast and beautiful topic. In our next chapter, we'll continue this exploration, delving into postnatal care, the Ayurvedic approach to child development, and even more timeless insights from the wisdom of Ayurveda. Until then, stay well and keep exploring.